Good evening, you're watching 5 Live. I'm Gaurav Sawant. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the nation in paying tributes to the braves who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives for our country. At Kartavya Path, the Prime Minister will also lead the nation in taking a pledge to make India a developed country by 2047, 100th year of India's independence. We get you all details, but as always, let's get started with the headlines at 5. Opposition MPs allege phone hacking by government agencies after an Apple iPhone alert. Government dismisses the charge, says hacking alert issued across 150 countries and not just India.
There are many compulsive critics in our country. Their only and only job is to criticize the government as and when they wake up, as and when they find an opportunity.
Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar booked for alleged false and politically motivated remark on Kerala IED blast. BJP cries foul, claims a false case has been registered against Rajiv Chandrasekhar. Aam Aadmi Party Minister Atishi slams the Enforcement Directorate summons against Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, claims the BJP will get Kejriwal arrested soon after questioning. India celebrates the National Integration Day, pays tributes to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the nation in these celebrations with a Unity Day parade in केवड़िया गुजरात
जोन में रखा गया है और
25 वर्षों में हमें अपने इस भारत को समृद्ध बनाना है, हमारे भारत को विकसित बनाना है.
Israel expands Gaza ground assault on day 4. Firing escalates at the Gaza Strip. Israel hostage soldier rescued from Hamas.
The big question continues to remain, what happens after 5, 6 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, a month? How long is it going to go on for? Because remember, the hostage crisis continues to fester and simmer. It has intensified like we first reported here on India Today.
And our top focus on this special broadcast is Meri Maati Mera Desh campaign. A grand culmination ceremony has been organized on Kartavya Path in the national capital. The event has been organized on the National Unity Day, which will witness the participation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He will address at least 75,000, that's the expectation, at least 75,000 Amrit Kalash Yatris joining the program from across the country today on the 31st of October. The Prime Minister will also launch the Mera Yuva Bharat platform for youth. Meri Maati Mera Desh campaign is a tribute to the braves of India who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives for our country. The campaign comprises collection of soil, mitti and rice grains from over 6 lakh villages and blocks from across the country. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur said that the mitti, the soil from states, from various blocks, from various villages across the country was collected and has been sent here to the national capital, and there is an Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav Memorial and Park that will be made. In fact, plants are being brought in from almost across the country for a smarak, for a memorial to be built right next to the National War Memorial. Before I get you more on the story, let's quickly listen in to Union Minister Anurag Thakur. Let's also listen in to Kailash Kher and others on Meri Maati Mera Desh.
देश भर के गांव-गांव से आए हुए युवा एक संदेश लेकर जाएंगे कर्तव्य निभाने का और भारत को विकसित भारत बनाने का. मेरी माटी मेरा देश ये कार्यक्रम आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव का अंतिम कार्यक्रम है जो देश के 6 लाख से ज़्यादा गांव से मिट्टी एकत्र करके देश के युवा यहाँ पर आए हैं। अब इस मिट्टी से यहाँ पर अमृत वाटिका बनेगी और आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मेमोरियल स्मारक बनेगा, वॉर मेमोरियल के साथ लगती जमीन पर, इंडिया गेट पे।
मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि उनका मार्गदर्शन से ही इतना भव्य कार्य संभव हो रहा है कि आज पूरा देश भर की कोने कोने से आज हमारे देश का जो पवित्र मिट्टी है वो इस दिल्ली का कर्तव्य पथ में आ रहा है और अमृत वाटिका बनने के लिए पूरी तरह से तैयार है।
जो जनता के ऐसे एक जनता के अंदर ऐसे आह्वान किया, जो मेरी माटी मेरा देश मेरी माँ ऐसे करके आह्वान दिया। अब देखिए सारे देश की युवा आज इकट्ठा हो रहे हैं, हर गांव से हर घर से मिट्टी लेकर दिल्ली पहुंच रहे हैं। अभी बहुत सारे लोग पहुंच गया, आज रात के अंदर सभी लोग पहुंच जाएंगे। हर ब्लॉक से जो कलश आ रहे हैं, ये कलश में उस ब्लॉक के सभी गांव के सभी घर का मिट्टी रहे।
जय जयकारा जय जयकारा, स्वामी देना साथ हमारा, देशवासियों देना साथ हमारा।
And India Today, Shreya Chatterjee now joins us live from Kartavya Path. Shreya, Meri Maati Mera Desh, an attempt to connect the entire nation and have one bond. Take us through what's been happening ever since this started in August to its culmination today.
Gaurav, today is the finale of the Meri Maati Mera Desh campaign. Now, soil from across 36 union territories and the states have been collected and got over here at the Kartavya Path. At least 766 districts have been touched upon. To give you a sense what will happen when the Prime Minister comes, as you see, that there is a huge kalash that is placed at the center stage and there is a small kalash that is simultaneously there. And Prime Minister will actually, which was actually going to be used to create the Amrit Vatika. This is to actually pay tribute to the martyrs of the country. And as we talk, Gaurav, the Prime Minister has arrived at the Kartavya Path. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Anurag Thakur are the leaders. They are welcoming the Prime Minister to the center stage. He will first be actually putting the soil from the small kalash and then he will address the people, the gathering at Kartavya Path. Simultaneously, he will also launch the Mera Yuva Bharat portal.
These images of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he arrives at Kartavya Path for Meri Maati Mera Desh Abhiyan. And look at these images on your television screen. Lakshadweep, Chhattisgarh, Almora, Bhubaneswar, Kolkata, Ranchi, from across the length and breadth of our country, from Ladakh to Lakshadweep, from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat, soil from across the length and breadth of our country collected for this Amrit Kalash. And these images, that entire effort is being shown to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and being explained to him. Union Home Minister Amit Shah and the Information and Broadcasting Minister with him, Anurag Thakur with him. Now, this was an effort where more than 6 lakh villages, towns, blocks, they were brought in together for this effort. And what's the importance of soil? Haldi Ghati in Rajasthan, for example. Now, the soil from Haldi Ghati inspires you. It's the valor of Maharana Pratap, Udham Singh, the soil from Jallianwala Bagh, one of India's freedom fighters who killed General Dyer. He collected the soil from Jallianwala Bagh and took the pledge that he will kill those who were involved and gave the order for the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. He took a pledge in front of that soil and kept it for 21 long years. It was finally on the 13th of March in 1940 that he finally succeeded in neutralizing Dyer. What we're also being told is that 7,297 blocks from the length and breadth of our country came together. 500 municipalities, 75,000 people expected. This, according to the government, takes the Har Ghar Tiranga pledge altogether to a new level. Images that you see from across the length and breadth of our country, where people collected soil from their respective areas, from Ladakh, from Lakshadweep, from Arunachal Pradesh, from Gujarat, from the land of the brave, from Haldi Ghati, from Rajasthan, from Punjab, from Uttar Pradesh, from Uttarakhand, from Bihar. Every nook and cranny of our country has brave sons and daughters of India who fought against foreign oppression, who fought against foreign rule, and we've remained independent. Now, the Prime Minister will lead the nation in taking a pledge. In fact, 5 Pran, as he put it from the ramparts of the Red Fort, to make India a developed nation by 2047. That's 100 years of India's independence. So this is an effort to unite the country in one bond, tie the country in one single strand. Let's listen in to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You know, this event is also a tribute to the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Earlier today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid his respects at the Statue of Unity at Kevadia in Gujarat, where he spoke of the goals and the pledge we need to take as a nation. This is Azadi ka Amrit Kal, and now from the 75th year of India's independence to the 100th year in 2047, what should be the roadmap? Listen into Prime Minister Narendra Modi's roadmap.
मैं सभी देशवासियों को राष्ट्रीय एकता दिवस की अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। मेरे परिवारजनों, आने वाले 25 साल भारत के लिए इस शताब्दी के सबसे महत्वपूर्ण 25 साल है। इन 25 वर्षों में हमें अपने इस भारत को समृद्ध बनाना है, हमारे भारत को विकसित बनाना है। आजादी के पहले 25 साल का एक ऐसा कालखंड आया था पिछली शताब्दी में, जिसमें हर देशवासी ने स्वतंत्र भारत के लिए खुद को खपा दिया था। अगले 25 वर्ष का अमृतकाल हमारे सामने आया है, अवसर बन के आया है। हमें सरदार पटेल की प्रेरणा से हर लक्ष्य को हासिल करना है। पिछले 9 साल में देश जिन नीतियों और निर्णयों के साथ आगे बढ़ा है, उसका प्रभाव भी आज जीवन के हर क्षेत्र में देख रहे हैं। भारत में गरीबी कम हो रही है। 5 वर्ष में 13.5 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग गरीबी से बाहर आए हैं। हमें विश्वास मिला है कि हम देश से गरीबी को खत्म कर सकते हैं। असंभव कुछ भी नहीं होता है। किसने सोचा था कि कभी कश्मीर आर्टिकल 370 से मुक्त भी हो सकता है, लेकिन आज कश्मीर और देश के बीच आर्टिकल 370 की वो दीवार गिर चुकी है। सरदार साहब जहां भी होंगे, सबसे ज्यादा प्रसन्नता अनुभव करते होंगे और हम सबको आशीर्वाद देते होंगे। आज कश्मीर के मेरे भाई बहन आतंकवाद के साए से बाहर आकर खुली हवा में सांस ले रहे हैं।
I want to bring in my colleague Shreya once again. Shreya, that's a huge point being made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on National Integration Day when he says the removal, the abrogation of Article 370 or the defanging of Article 370 perhaps fulfills the Sardar's dreams of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat that the Prime Minister says he's taking forward.
जो देश पे मिट जाते हैं वो फिर कभी ना मिटते हैं किस्सों किताबों में सदा ही वीर वो कह।
Okay, and these are images that are coming from the Kartavya Path stage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on the dais. Let's for a moment cut across and listen in.
करने के लिए सामने भारत कलश मंच पर उनसे निवेदन है कि वो पधारें और इस देश का नेतृत्व हम सबको प्रेरणा के रूप में अपने कर कमलों से इस माटी को उसमें अर्पित करें। देश की माटी को इस भारत कलश में देवियों सज्जनों और नमन भी करें माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय और सभी जो मंच पर विराजमान विभूतियां हैं वे सभी इस अवसर पर और हम सब अपने स्थान पर खड़े होकर शांत भाव से इस भारत की माटी का ध्यान करते हुए हम सब अपनी इस माटी को नमन करेंगे अपने अपने स्थान पर, क्योंकि भारत के देश के कोने कोने से घर घर से गांव गांव से खंड से कस्बों से शहरों से ये माटी आई है और अब ये भारत कलश में स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री महोदय अपने कर कमलों से माटी अर्पित करेंगे देश की और नमन करेंगे भारत कलश को, भारत की माटी को।
किताब में सदा है वीर वो कहलाते हैं वीरों की हर हाथों की चिट्ठी इसको संभाले रखना मेरे देश की मिट्टी मिट्टी में हाल से दमकते इसलिए उड़ाना सपना मेरे देश की मिट्टी। आजादी के 75 साल पूरे होने के अवसर पर
बहुत बहुत आभार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का। देव सज्जनों, ये भारत कलश 8,500 अमृत कलश देश भर से आए और सभी अपने सिर पर बड़े गर्व के साथ अपने प्रदेश की माटी लेकर आए और यही माटी इस भारत कलश में है। जब ये घूमेगी सारी मिट्टी एक साथ मिलेगी और इसी भारत की मिट्टी से एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का संकल्प साकार होगा अमृत वाटिका के रूप में, जो इस समय आपके सामने दृश्य है। जो भारत कलश, विशाल कलश अपने स्थान पर एक चक्र की तरह घूम रहा है। भारत की माटी मिल रही है आपस में और साकार हो रहा है एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत का संकल्प। आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के समापन अवसर पर मेरी माटी मेरा देश के इस राष्ट्रीय आयोजन में हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन। एक बार आप सबके करतल ध्वनि के साथ देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का देवियों सज्जनों। देश की स्वतंत्रता के 75 वर्षों के उपलक्ष्य में आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के माध्यम से देश के गौरवशाली इतिहास, इसकी स्वतंत्रता और स्वाभिमान की रक्षा करने के लिए अपने प्राणों की आहुति देने वाले वीरों वीरांगनाओं को याद करते हुए आज हम सब देश की माटी को नमन कर रहे हैं, संकल्पित भी हो रहे हैं नए भारत, विकसित भारत के निर्माण के लिए। देवियों सज्जनों, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय के इस प्रेरक और अद्भुत चिंतन के साथ देश के लोगों को, विशेषकर युवाओं को जोड़ने का एक व्यापक अभियान है ये, जो अमृत काल में हम सबके लिए प्रेरणा बनेगा। इस सोच के प्रणेता माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का वंदन, अभिनंदन इस अवसर पर।
मंच पर आसीन श्री अमित शाह, भारत सरकार के माननीय गृह एवं सहकारिता मंत्री, श्री जी किशन रेड्डी, भारत सरकार के माननीय संस्कृति, पर्यटन एवं डोनर मंत्री, श्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर, भारत सरकार के खेल एवं युवा मामले और सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्री, श्री अर्जुन राम मेघवाल, भारत सरकार के विधि एवं न्याय राज्य मंत्री, स्वतंत्र प्रभार एवं संस्कृति राज्य मंत्री, श्रीमती मीनाक्षी लेखी, केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री, संस्कृति मंत्रालय, विदेश मंत्रालय, श्री निशित प्रमाणिक, केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री, गृह मंत्रालय, युवा एवं खेल मंत्रालय, आप सभी का भी हम हार्दिक स्वागत व अभिनंदन करते हैं।
सामने दर्शक दीर्घा में विराजमान भारत सरकार के माननीय मंत्रीगण, सांसदगण, विधायकगण, केंद्र और राज्य सरकारों के वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण और देश भर से अमृत कलश लेकर पहुंचे सभी प्रतिनिधियों का हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन है। निवेदन केंद्रीय संस्कृति, पर्यटन और डोनर मंत्री श्री जी किशन रेड्डी जी से कि वे इस अवसर पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय का और आप सबका स्वागत करने के लिए पधारें। स्वागत संबोधन के साथ।
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता, देश के करोड़ों युवाओं के धड़कन, परम आदरणीय भारत का प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री माननीय अमित शाह जी, केंद्र मंत्रिमंडल के सदस्य श्री अनुराग ठाकुर जी, अर्जुन राम मेघवाल जी, श्री मीनाक्षी लेखी जी, इस आजाद का अमृत महोत्सव समापन के महान कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव, देश के कोने कोने से मिट्टी लेकर देश के राजधानी दिल्ली को आए हुए भारत के भविष्य सभी युवा साथी, आज सबसे पहले भारत की एकता और अखंडता के सूत्रधार, महान नेता, आयरन मैन ऑफ इंडिया श्री सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल जी का जयंती पर उनके चरणों में नमन करता हूं। मैं आज आजाद की अमृत महोत्सव के भव्य समापन के शुभ अवसर पर भारत सरकार की ओर से आप सबका हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं। मैं इस मंच से देश भर से आए हुए इस पावन पवित्र मिट्टी को वंदन करता हूं। साथ ही मेरा माटी मेरे देश अभियान कार्यक्रम का हिस्सा बने देश के करोड़ों करोड़ों लोगों का भी हृदय से धन्यवाद करता हूं, जिनके सफल प्रयासों से आज यह कार्यक्रम संपन्न हो रहा है। आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के गरिमामयी उपस्थिति में 7,000 ब्लॉकों से, 500 म्युनिसिपैलिटी से और सभी म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन से लगभग 8,500 से अधिक अमृत कलशों के साथ यहां कर्तव्य पथ पर मौजूद हुए सभी युवा बहनों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं। इस अभियान में भारत के लगभग 6 लाख गांवों से और करोड़ों घरों से अमृत कलश में मिट्टी या चावल का संग्रह किया गया। हमें गर्व है कि अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत।
So that's the Minister G. Kishan Reddy talking about the effort that went into Meri Maati Mera Desh. We'll take a quick break. Back when Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks. Stay with us here on this India Today special broadcast on Meri Maati Mera Desh.
From the heat and dust, he's seen India's blood and sweat.
Nooh has been simmering with communal tension,
shaped by a nation in motion, firsthand.
This alliance hasn't still worked out how they intend over the next 10 months to work together.
And that's why, when he hits the field to report India's politics and polls,
you've always done what the Gandhis have wanted you to do.
India's finest reporter and the ultimate newsman, Rajdeep Sardesai. Only on India Today TV.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
It's still grey, smoky. Israeli airstrikes destroyed a Gaza-based reporter's home and community, injured his relatives, and impeded medical treatment due to the destruction of local hospitals. Anas al-Najjar had his house in the southern Gaza Strip city Khan Yunis, which accommodates 17 people of his family members and relatives. His house is in a community of about 50,000 people. In the early hours of October 21st, Al-Najjar's community was hit by an Israeli airstrike, killing a number of residents. His house was almost leveled in ruins, and his grandfather and sister and several other relatives were injured. As the local medical facilities were also destroyed, the injured individuals could get only simple treatment, and the homeless Al-Najjars have to seek shelter at their relatives' house.
Now I am in my home, which is no longer habitable. Our home was bombed without any warning in advance, and many are killed, including my neighbors. Air attacks like this cost us dearly.
The Israeli airstrikes have also posed a severe threat to local medical facilities. On Monday, areas near the Al-Shifa hospital, the largest medical institution in the Gaza Strip, and areas near the Al-Quds hospital in the west of Gaza were hit by fierce Israeli airstrikes. One of the attacked areas was merely 100 meters away from the hospital.
يعني منذ أيام والاحتلال يهدد جميع مستشفيات مدينة غزة وشمال قطاع غزة بالإخلاء فهذا ضرب من الخيال سنبقى مع
Life in Gaza continues to be a living hell. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me once again take you back to Kartavya Path, where the Prime Minister will lead the nation in taking a pledge. In fact, 5 pran or 5 pledges, as the Prime Minister put it, for a developed India by 2047, the 100th year of India's independence. And these 5 pledges that the Prime Minister spoke of from the ramparts of the Red Fort on Independence Day take a big resolve. No servile attitude towards foreign powers. Be proud of your nation, culture and rich heritage. Remain united as Indians and show commitment to work for a developed India by 2047. Let's quickly cut across and listen in.
विकासता के माध्यम से कश्मीर घर घर पहुंचा, काशी उत्सव जैसे साहित्यिक सम्मेलन भी किए और प्राचीन भारतीय ज्ञान गंगा की धारा भी बहने लगी। इसी कड़ी में किला और कहानियां और वंडर केव्स अभियानों ने भारत के सांस्कृतिक गौरव का परचम लहराया। देश में हर घर ध्यान लगाया गया। हमारे गांव हमारी धरोहर बने, अमृत कलश यात्रा जैसे सफल आयोजन के साथ मेरी माटी मेरा देश की महान सोच सबके हृदय में घर कर गई। देश की युवा शक्ति ने भी बढ़े चलो का संदेश अपनाते हुए इस महापर्व में असीम उत्साह दिखाया। आजादी के इस अमृत महोत्सव ने सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सबका प्रयास को मूल मंत्र की तरह साधा। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की प्रेरणा से हर भारतवासी ने किया पंच प्राण निभाने का वादा। आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव व पंच प्राण की गूंज 140 करोड़ भारतीयों के हृदय में गूंजती रहे। इससे सुर मिलाकर सभी धड़कन यही कहे, जय हे, जय हे, जय हे।
देवियों सज्जनों, देश की माटी का गौरव बनाए रखने का संकल्प माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय ने देश को और देश के युवाओं को दिया है। साथ ही इस धरती को बचाने, प्राकृतिक संसाधनों के संरक्षण और जलवायु परिवर्तन की चुनौती से निपटने की राह भी पूरी दुनिया को माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय ने ही दिखाई है मिशन लाइफ के रूप में। प्रधानमंत्री महोदय के मिशन लाइफ विजन की प्रशंसा दुनिया के तमाम देशों ने की है और इस मिशन लाइफ को आज की सबसे बड़ी जरूरत भी माना है। इस मिशन लाइफ से ही प्रेरित होकर राष्ट्रीय नाट्य विद्यालय रंगमंडल नई दिल्ली ने एक लघु नाटिका तैयार की है, बहुत ही सुंदर, बहुत प्रेरक है और इसका शीर्षक है धरती कहे पुकार के। आइए धरती की इस पुकार को ध्यान से सुने और इसके संदेशों को आचार व्यवहार में अपनाएं, आत्मसात करें। सांस्कृतिक मंच पर यह प्रस्तुति आरंभ होने जा रही है, धरती कहे पुकार के।
क्या कृषि अधिकारी साहब, ये हमें कहाँ जंगल में ले आए?
क्यों भाई, तुमको यह जंगल बुरा लग रहा है?
यहाँ इतनी हरियाली है, सब कुछ कितना सुंदर है।
तो क्या हमारे गांव में हरियाली नहीं है? ठीक है, हमारे यहाँ थोड़ा कम हरा भरा है और यहाँ थोड़ा ज्यादा हरा भरा है। सुनो, हमारे यहाँ की मिट्टी और यहाँ की मिट्टी में बहुत फर्क है। वो कैसे?
बाबूजी, बाबूजी,
बाबूजी, बाबूजी,
बाबूजी, भैया मेरा चिप्स खा गया।
नहीं बाबूजी, आधा मैंने खाया, आधा इसने खाया।
नहीं, इसने खा लिया।
बाबूजी ये झूठ बोल रही है।
नहीं,
इसने आधा खाया था। तू सच बोल दे बाबूजी। मैं बाबूजी को बोल दूं बाबूजी।
खाया।
क्यों खेत सिंह, मना किया था, हर जगह बच्चों को लेकर मत चलो, जब देखो चपर चपर। चुप कराओ इनको।
क्या करें भाई, इनकी माँ नहीं है ना। लड़ो मत, वहां जाके खेलो, जाओ।
अधिकारी साहब, ये बताइए हमारी हरियाली और यहाँ की हरियाली में क्या फर्क है? अरे बहुत फर्क है। तुमने मिट्टी में रासायनिक खादों को डालकर मिट्टी को खराब कर दिया है, जहर बना डाला है मिट्टी को, और अब जहर ही खा रहे हैं हम लोग। इसीलिए हमारी सोच भी जहरीली हो गई है। भले ही हम ऊपर से चमकते हों, लेकिन अंदर से खोखले हैं।
तो क्या साहब, यहाँ की मिट्टी अमृत और हमारी मिट्टी जहर है?
ठीक कहा तुमने। यहाँ की मिट्टी में अमृत इसलिए है क्योंकि पारंपरिक और प्राकृतिक ढंग से खेती की जाती है। मिट्टी में जैविक खाद ही डाला जाता है और हम डालते हैं पेस्टिसाइड्स और रसायन। जमीन के नीचे पानी तक को तो हमने जहरीला कर दिया है। धरती माता के एक अंग को जैसे लहूलुहान कर दिया है।
हम कैसे मान लें?
दोनों मिट्टी है हमारे पास, कहो तो जांच करके दिखाऊं।
जंगल में गीत संगीत,
चलो भाई देखा जाए, थोड़ा मनोरंजन हो जाए।
चलो चलो भाई, चलो 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 चलो।
And Union Minister Piyush Goyal has spoken out on the Snoopgate 2.0. Union Minister has called Apple's alert a malfunction. He said the prima facie, the information is this alert looks like a malfunction. It's been across 150 states. He says others known to me have also received this alert, and not just opposition leaders in India. He says this threat was issued by Apple and on iPhones across 150 nations and not just restricted to India or opposition leaders in India. My colleague Aishwarya spoke to him. Let's listen in.
While the opposition now is asking a lot of questions, there is a statement which has come from Apple and the BJP very clearly saying that there is no kind of spying that's taking place. Piyush Goyal ji, we are now seeing that there is a clarification which has come from Apple saying that there have been people in 150 countries who have got this alert of sorts. The opposition on the other side is saying, they are alleging that there is some kind of spying taking place from the central government and the Bharatiya Janata Party side.
Well, I think it may be interesting to check up whether somebody in the opposition is responsible for this whole charade in the first place. I think Apple has very clearly said this seems to have happened in a lot of countries. I'm told many people who are unrelated to public life has also been receiving these kind of messages. It's quite ridiculous, the entire message. I read what the message was all about. Some people who received this message went to the Apple ID that is quoted on that so-called message, and it is said that if you go on to appleid.apple.com, you'll find on top of it this warning. But well, nothing of that sort is found when you go on appleid.apple.com. So I clearly think it looks to be either a malfunction on Apple or some prank somebody is playing. It's complete nonsense that the opposition leaders are trying to propagate. It'll be very interesting to get to the root of the matter. I believe the Honourable Minister has already clarified the statement, has given out the details, and has asked Apple to join the investigation. Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani ho jayega.
So I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Polami Saha, tracking this development very closely. Polami, you heard all the opposition leaders who came out all guns blazing in the morning. You saw what Apple responded. You've heard Piyush Goyal, but the government apparently is also having an inquiry conducted. Ashwini Vaishnav indicated that. Give us details of what this government inquiry would be like.
Well, the government, of course, has confirmed that Minister for Information and Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, has confirmed that there will be an inquiry, and it has been ordered already. What the nature of that inquiry will be and how the government is going to go about that is has not been specified. He's not given a specific timeline either, but he said that this will be conducted as soon as possible and in the fastest manner possible, because he said this is a technical issue. All they have to do is go back into the trail, use certain in order to find out exactly what happened and how did in fact these members of the opposition receive these threat notifications. So the government has said that they've taken very seriously all of these, threat notifications that have been received by members of, public representatives, those who are in public life, and they are investigating it thoroughly, though, of course, countering the opposition, imputing motive to the government, saying it was the government that was behind these attacks. The opposition, of course, saying that Apple's threat notification clearly states state-sponsored attackers. Who else could it possibly be? But they've obviously raised this matter with the Home Minister, with the Prime Minister, with the IT Minister, and Meri Maati even goes on to say that she's going to raise it with Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla as well, because this is a matter of breach of a privilege, and for that, the Privilege Committee should take this up. It should summon Home Ministry officials and ask them what's going on.
Stay with me for a moment. Let's listen in to Union Minister Piyush Goyal once again on government's clarification. I'll also get you what Ashwini Vaishnav said. And is the opposition satisfied with this? We'll get back to Polemy on this. But let's listen in to Piyush Goyal.
While the opposition now is asking a lot of questions, there is a statement which has come from Apple and the BJP very clearly saying that there is no kind of spying that's taking place. Piyush Goyal ji, we are now seeing that there is a clarification which has come from Apple saying that there have been people in 150 countries who have got this alert of sorts. The opposition on the other side is saying, they are alleging that there is some kind of spying taking place from the central government and the Bharatiya Janata Party side.
Well, I think it may be interesting to check up whether somebody in the opposition is responsible for this whole charade in the first place. I think Apple has very clearly said this seems to have happened in a lot of countries. I'm told many people who are unrelated to public life has also been receiving these kind of messages. It's quite ridiculous, the entire message. I read what the message was all about. Some people who received this message went to the Apple ID that is quoted on that so-called message, and it is said that if you go on to appleid.apple.com, you'll find on top of it this warning. But well, nothing of that sort is found when you go on appleid.apple.com. So I clearly think it looks to be either a malfunction on Apple or some prank somebody is playing. It's complete nonsense that the opposition leaders are trying to propagate. It'll be very interesting to get to the root of the matter. I believe the Honourable Minister has already clarified the statement, has given out the details, and has asked Apple to join the investigation. Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani ho jayega.
Polemy, you've been speaking to opposition leaders after Apple's clarification and Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav saying they will look into this matter. They'll ask Apple to join in the probe. Is the opposition satisfied, or does it still believe state agencies mean that it's the Narendra Modi government that ordered this done?
Well, two parts to that, of course. One part is about Apple's statement. Are they satisfied with that? What they are saying is that Apple's statement, which is quite a vague statement, in fact, just confirms what they've said. Because Apple has not denied it, that they did not send out these threat notifications. It only says that it cannot specify where this threat originated. And also, as per their own protocol, they don't want to get into the cause of issuance of these threat notifications, because then it would alert cyber criminals in general as to how Apple detects these threat attempts, these breach attempts, and then, of course, they will evolve for the future so that they are not detectable by Apple's system. So for those reasons, Apple cannot go into the details, but Apple doesn't deny sending out these threat notifications. Of course, it says that it sent out these threat notifications to 100 different countries, users in 100 different countries. So that has been the opposition's position. As far as the central government announcing an investigation is concerned, of course, the opposition has to accept that, because they reached out to the government. They said, they've written to the Prime Minister, they've written to the Home Minister, they've written to the IT Minister. The minister concerned, the nodal ministry concerned, has taken up this issue and has said that it will be investigating it. It has ordered an inquiry. So now, of course, the opposition will have to sit back and wait for that inquiry report. Though, of course, they're not buying arguments like it was an algorithm malfunction for the moment, because then they're asking, how is it that a malfunction targets only opposition MPs for that matter? And that to them is suspicious in nature.
Fair enough. Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. But as Piyush Goyal said, that there are many who are unconnected with either the government or with public life, and they too have received such a notice from Apple. But politics over this alleged Snoopgate against several opposition leaders, it continues to escalate, discarding allegations leveled against the government. Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that a similar notification was sent out across not one, not two, but 150 countries. He said that Apple has an encrypted and secure system. He lashed out at those who desperately find a reason to criticize, what he termed was a desperate reason to criticize the government. He then went on to suggest that opposition leaders must file an FIR and take up the issue with the service provider, Apple. This development comes after several opposition leaders, including Trinamool Congress Member of Parliament Mahua Moitra, Shiv Sena's Uddhav Thackeray faction MP Priyanka Chaturvedi, and Congress leader Pawan Khera and Shashi Tharoor said they'd received messages from Apple on their phones and emails warning that state-sponsored attackers may be targeting their iPhones. Following this claim, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi slammed the centre and said he was ready to submit his phone for investigation. Apple issued a clarification saying some alerts may be false, adding they cannot provide any specific reason for such alerts.
There are many compulsive critics in our country. Their only and only job is to criticize the government as and when they wake up, as and when they find an opportunity. You must have all seen the advisory issued by Apple. This is a vague advisory. It is based on certain estimations that they have done. Apple has already clarified that their system is, their encryption system is of highest possible order. They have also clarified and issued a statement saying that this kind of advisory has been issued in 150 countries. Friends, these compulsive critics, they have only one habit. Whenever they don't have any major issue, the only thing they'll say is surveillance.
तो ये आपको झूठे भविष्य का वायदा करते हैं और जो आपका धन है आपके आंखों के सामने आपसे छीन के ले जा रहे हैं. यह हिंदुस्तान की आज सच्चाई है. कम लोग हैं जो इसके खिलाफ लड़ रहे हैं, मगर हम डरने वाले नहीं हैं. हम लड़ने वाले लोग हैं. हम पीछे नहीं हटेंगे. जितनी टैपिंग करनी है कर लो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. अगर आपको मेरा फोन चाहिए मैं दे देता हूं, आपको उठा के ले लो.
एप्पल को प्रोटेस्ट क्यों नहीं करते? एप्पल से बात करें, व्हाट इज दिस मैटर. लेकिन जहां तक मैं अपने अनुभव से कह सकता हूं, कोई भी टेलीफोन कंपनी ऐसा नहीं कहती है. बात समझ गए आप? अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो सबसे पहले वो खुद सर्टिन के पास आती है, जो क्विक रिस्पांस टीम है. वहां वो बताती है कि ये कुछ है, इसको देखिए, और उसके बाद होता है. तो यहां तो कमाल है, उन्हीं को मिला और प्रेस में गए. हिम्मत है तो चले जाए, FIR कर दें.
I have been holding the government to account. I'm asking some questions from my government with regards to the Adani corruption or with regards to the Pegasus issue or various other issues that impact the daily lives of our citizens. And it is a well-known fact, it's a well-recorded fact, and it went up to the Supreme Court, the issue of Pegasus, how journalists were being targeted, and it has been, part of investigative stories. This is happening. So it is for them to tell me whether, they will allow me to discharge my duties as a parliamentarian, as a member of the opposition, or they would want to silence every single voice which speaks up against the government. So this is for them, but it is pretty clear that as a vocal opponent, the attack is directed at us, and going by the numbers, sheer numbers of people who are coming forward to say this from the opposition shows this is an attempt at mass surveillance.
Government of India is very clear that freedom of expression, privacy, and all civil liberties must be respected and also protected. That's why those people who are doing illegal acts, working against the interests of the country, they will be complaining about all this thing. We are very clear, we are not like Congress party and other people who will do illegal acts. We follow the rules.
We will continue to track this story very closely, but that is all I have time for on 5 Live this evening. Many thanks for watching. Akshita Nandagopal comes up next with 6 p.m. Prime. Gets you that top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in the Amrit Kalash Yatra, marking the culmination of Meri Maati Mera Desh campaign at Kartavya Path. Details coming up.
I have been holding the government to account. I'm asking some questions from my government with regards to the Adani corruption or with regards to the Pegasus issue or various other issues that impact the daily lives of our citizens. And it is a well-known fact, it's a well-recorded fact, and it went up to the Supreme Court, the issue of Pegasus, how journalists were being targeted, and it has been, part of investigative stories. This is happening. So it is for them to tell me whether, they will allow me to discharge my duties as a parliamentarian, as a member of the opposition, or they would want to silence every single voice which speaks up against the government. So this is for them, but it is pretty clear that as a vocal opponent, the attack is directed at us, and going by the numbers, sheer numbers of people who are coming forward to say this from the opposition shows this is an attempt at mass surveillance.
बड़े दुख की बात है कि सुबह ये जानकारी मिली और इस तरह का मैसेज कंपनी के माध्यम से मोबाइल पर पहुंचा है और ये जो मैसेज बता रहा है कि आपका स्टेट एजेंसी या स्टेट की तरफ से हैक किया जा रहा है या जासूसी की जा रही है। तो बड़े दुख की बात है, आज हमारे डेमोक्रेसी में, लोकतंत्र में आज़ादी और आपकी प्राइवेसी को भी ये किस लिए उसको खत्म करना चाहते हैं? आखिरकार जासूसी किस लिए? और इस सीमा तक कि जो पार्टी के बड़े नेता हैं, पार्टियों के बड़े नेता हैं, उनके मोबाइल सर्वेलेंस में ले लिए जाए, उनकी जानकारी हो जाए।
डिजिटल दुनिया बना रहे हैं और पर इन्वेसिव पॉलिटिक्स के तहत क्या देखना चाहते हैं कौन किससे बात कर रहा, क्या बात कर रहा? पूरा का पूरा नॉर्थ कोरिया बनने जा रहा है क्या? सीधी सी बात है। सरकार की ओर से अभी तक कुछ सुना ही नहीं मैंने। उनकी ओर से सफाई आनी चाहिए ना। इसका एक मंत्रालय भी है, वो क्या कर रहा है?
As the relentless Israeli bombing continues. The humanitarian crisis has reached an unprecedented level in the Gaza Strip. Buildings are being reduced to rubble, trapping dozens. This as people continue to struggle for basic essential items like food, clean water and life-saving medicines. Over 9,000 Palestinians have lost their lives and thousands are injured. Gaza citizens say they face a grave threat to their lives, adding that it was the women and the children who are being killed. Israel has asked Gaza citizens to leave their homes and to move to the south of the Gaza Strip. The IDF has said Hamas is using hospitals and schools to store weapons to attack Israel. Israel says it was trying to keep civilian deaths as low as possible amid the ongoing war. But it accuses Hamas of stalling civilian evacuation to use them as human shields. The Gaza Strip has been under the Israeli strike since the 7th October deadly terror attack by Hamas killed nearly 1,400 Israelis. The innocent Gaza citizens are now paying a price of the war which they never started. With Shiva Road near the Gaza border, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Non-stop airstrikes.
Hear explosions right now. You can hear explosions. There are rockets landing nearby.
Tanks roar.
That was an airstrike. You can hear an airstrike in the distance, probably somewhere near Gaza City.
Israel's big Gaza offensive begins. India Today's Shivarur is in the war zone.
That's been a huge priority for the country. Okay, so like I said, I mean, just to prove my point, there's this constant bombardment punctuating pretty much everything that we're seeing and hearing.
Covering all fronts, factual, not fictional.
West Bank has come under attack during this cycle of violence. There have been airstrikes in Jenin, where I'd been reporting from.
Reporting, not drama.
Information coming in from Gaza, which has been completely shut out, with the internet and communications being completely knocked out. Okay, there's been a rocket intercept.
Follow India's top conflict reporter on the front line, only on India Today.
The bold look of Kohler. Titan Eye Plus, expert who cares. Dulux Velvet Touch feels like home.
Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshata Nandagopal. We're cutting straight across to the national capital, to the Kartavya Path, where the Prime Minister is currently there in the culmination of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. You've got these images coming in now of the massive crowds that have gathered, nearly 50,000 people who are there for the Meri Maati Mera Desh campaign. Just moments ago, you had the Prime Minister also rendering an oath to youngsters who've now taken a part of an initiative called Mera Yuva Bharat or My Bharat. But the highlight perhaps of all of the celebrations that you're seeing today is the Meri Maati Mera Desh. What does that mean? What we're seeing is in fact a massive pot that's been kept at Kartavya Path, where, and there you have those images on the right of your screens, filled with the mitti, the mud, from the residences of fallen soldiers. And Prime Minister Modi earlier today, to also highlight the significance of that moment, also brought about and put an earthen pot full of mud into that particular area. Was seen also taking some mitti in his hand, putting it on his forehead in a very, very symbolic move about how much really he respects and hails all of our soldiers who fought so bravely and put their lives down for the nation. On the left of your screens are the live images right now. The Prime Minister has officially inaugurated the Mera Yuva Bharat initiative, which is in fact to focus on youngsters of the country, even rendering an oath to all of them.
भारत का संकल्प हमारे युवाओं को देने के लिए और इस पोर्टल के शुभारंभ के लिए दिव्य सज्जनों, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव के दौरान देश में जन भागीदारी की एक नई सोच, एक नई संस्कृति को हमने आकार लेते देखा है। साथ ही भारत सरकार के विभिन्न मंत्रालयों और विभागों तथा सभी राज्यों और केंद्र शासित क्षेत्रों ने भी इस महोत्सव में बढ़ चढ़कर हिस्सा लिया है। इनमें से दो वर्गों यानी केंद्रीय मंत्रालय और विभाग तथा राज्य और केंद्र शासित क्षेत्र, इनमें से प्रत्येक वर्ग में सर्वश्रेष्ठ प्रदर्शन करने के लिए पहले 3 स्थानों के लिए यहां आज अकम पुरस्कार प्रदान किए जाएंगे। इन अकम अवार्ड्स के लिए उच्च स्तर पर गठित एक समिति, जिसने अलग अलग मानदंडों के आधार पर अकम अवार्ड्स के विजेताओं को चुना है। पुरस्कारों की शुरुआत हम राज्य और केंद्र शासित क्षेत्र के वर्ग से कर रहे हैं। मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री।
So as we beam for you these live images, just moments away from the Prime Minister speaking, I have Gaurav Sawant with me as well. Gaurav, a huge significant moment this, an Amrit Kal memorial that we're talking about, Mera Yuva Bharat, which has just been launched, but perhaps the biggest highlight is Meri Maati Mera Desh. What a beautiful tribute really to our fallen soldiers.
It indeed is. In fact, it's an effort to bring the past, present and future and tie them in one bond. That's the Prime Minister's effort, and unite our country in one bond from Ladakh to Lakshadweep and from Arunachal Pradesh to Gujarat. And that is why you have soil from every village, every block, every state coming together in that big Amrit Kalash, and that would be then used for this Amrit Vatika. You're again, it's an environment thing. India is pretty big on environment. You're planting more trees and lakhs of trees, all saplings that have come from different parts of our country, and right next to the National War Memorial. So you remember your fallen heroes from the armed forces, you remember your fallen heroes who've made the supreme sacrifice of their lives in counter-terror operations, and also our freedom fighters. You know some of them. The effort is that you know all of them from different parts of our country, because it was one nation that united to fight, centuries of servitude and combating to become a free nation once again.
And you look at this kind of an initiative, the effort that's gone on, has been going on for months, where you've had people, family members essentially of these fallen soldiers, and it's a beautiful way to really signify to them as well how much we as a nation appreciate their sacrifice, and they've brought these pots of mud all the way from their hometowns via trains, flights, buses, made it down here to the national capital, and they're right now there. They've emptied their pots, brought that mitti to the national capital. Tell us, Gaurav, now what's going to happen next? Because we've seen those images, as you called it, of the Amrit Kalash kept there at Kartavya Path. Is that going to remain there now for eternity for people to come and pay their tribute?
So, all this soil from the length and breadth of our country, it comes together, and there will be an Amrit Vatika. It's like a garden. A garden right next to the National War Memorial, where trees from across the country, saplings will be planted from across the country, and people can visit that. People should get inspired, because what's the road ahead? You've covered 75 years of our journey. 1947 is when we became independent. This is 2023. You've already celebrated 77 years of freedom. But how do you make India a developed country by 2047? That's the dream. So the next 25 years, extremely crucial. That is why the pledge that everyone saw. The Prime Minister said, Panch Pran. From the ramparts of the Red Fort, he spoke of 5 pledges that we need to take as a nation. Every individual, especially the youth, because they are the engine. The youth are the growth engine of our country in the next 25 years. And the Prime Minister's dream is that it's not just, taking India forward. India will actually take the world forward, becoming the 3rd largest economy by 2027 or 29, and then being amongst the top 3 economies of the world. So we aspire to be the growth engine of the world.
So what you saw and what Gaurav is referring to when he says the pledge and oath was just moments ago, when you had the Prime Minister essentially rendering this oath to youngsters. Out of the 50,000 people who are there, many of them are youngsters who have been brought together there to be a part of this event. You're seeing on your screens right now the inauguration of the Amrit Vatika that you were referring to just now, Gaurav. This is going to be right next to the National War Memorial. And let's talk also about those pictures that we saw earlier of the Prime Minister very symbolically putting the Desh Ki Mitti on his forehead. What an important moment and message that is for the entire country, for our fallen soldiers, for their families.
When we reconnect with our roots, this soil of our nation has a major impact on our psyche. I'll give you 2 small examples. Haldi Ghati, the land where Maharana Pratap fought the forces of Akbar. Haldi Ghati, the soil of Haldi Ghati, inspires warriors from across the length and breadth of our country, because this was a very small army of Maharana Pratap fighting a massive army of Akbar, and yet when you read history, which again is being looked at in a different view, was Akbar able to achieve his aim? And if not, is it victory for Akbar, or is it actually victory for Maharana Pratap? So the mitti of Haldi Ghati, major impact. The mitti of Jallianwala Bagh. 1990 was when Brigadier General Dyer ordered the massacre at Jallianwala Bagh. Sardar Udham Singh, he picked up that soil from Jallianwala Bagh and he took a pledge that he will neutralize the man who ordered the massacre of people at Jallianwala Bagh. So what did he do? He kept that soil of Jallianwala Bagh with him for 21 long years. It was finally in 1940 that he was able to eliminate Dyer. So, that is how...
That's the origin of what we're seeing today.
That's right. So that is how this soil inspires. So the Prime Minister put it on his forehead. We used to do that as children. You'd remember when we were playing kabaddi or when playing anything. You pick up that mud, put it on your forehead, and then you take a pledge. So that mitti of your country is something that gives you life. And even after death, it's in a way, as some say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So that mitti is your life soul in our country. The Prime Minister is doing that to bind the country in one bond.
And Gaurav there beautifully explaining the significance of what we're witnessing right now on our screens. This is right now, ladies and gentlemen, history in the making. We've been seeing and talking for the last 2 years at least about Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, about celebrating the nation's independence. And what better way to do it than to hail our fallen soldiers, than to hail our braves and recognize the utmost sacrifice that they have done for the nation. This is essentially the Prime Minister's brainchild, Gaurav. The government has been working on this for the last many months, and now it culminates in this particular moment. 50,000 people who've gathered there. This is at the Kartavya Path in the national capital. And since yesterday, if I'm not wrong, we've had families lined up, martyrs' families, Gaurav, lining up there, emptying their pots of mud from their homes, essentially, which they filled up, emptying it into that massive kalash that's placed right now at the Kartavya Path.
You're absolutely right. It's a 2-day event. Culminates now Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. The soil that's been brought from across the length and breadth of our country, from the homes of our braves. This also actually gives an opportunity for the young generation to know about braves in their respective localities, in their respective areas. Because in India's independence struggle, millions and millions, played a very major role. As some historians say, when we say "De di hame azadi bina khadak bina dhal," it wasn't a non-violent movement that got India our independence. And that is why it's very important that you see Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, his statue right there, where at one point of time you had King George V. There was an armed struggle for independence. India is all about our
we'll
warriors.
just cut live now to the Prime Minister, Gaurav.
पिछले 75 साल में जो आवाज इस कर्तव्य पथ न गूंजी हो, उससे भी बड़ी तीव्रता के साथ मेरे साथ बोलिए, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल के मेरे सहयोगी अमित भाई, किशन रेड्डी, अनुराग ठाकुर, अर्जुन राम मेघवाल, मीनाक्षी लेखी, निशित प्रामाणिक, देश भर से यहां पधारे मेरे सभी युवा साथियों और मेरे परिवारजनों, आज लौह पुरुष सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल की जयंती पर कर्तव्य पथ एक ऐतिहासिक महायज्ञ का साक्षी बन रहा है। 12 मार्च 2021 दांडी यात्रा वाला दिन था। 12 मार्च 2021 को गांधी जी की प्रेरणा से साबरमती आश्रम से शुरू हुआ आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव अब 31 अक्टूबर 2023 आज सरदार साहब की जयंती पर यहां पर उसका समापन है, समापन की पल है। जैसी दांडी यात्रा शुरू होने के बाद देशवासी उससे जुड़ते गए, वैसे ही आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव ने जन भागीदारी का ऐसा हुजूम देखा कि नया इतिहास बन गया। दांडी यात्रा ने स्वतंत्र भारत की लौ को और तेजस्वी किया था। 75 साल की ये यात्रा समृद्ध भारत के सपने को साकार करने वाला कालखंड बन रहा है। 2 वर्ष से अधिक चले इस महोत्सव का मेरी माटी मेरा देश अभियान के साथ समापन हो रहा है। आज आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव एक याद के लिए स्मारक का शिलान्यास भी हुआ है। ये स्मारक आने वाली पीढ़ियों को हमेशा इस ऐतिहासिक आयोजन की याद दिलाएगी। बेहतरीन आयोजनों के लिए यहां कुछ राज्यों, मंत्रालयों और विभागों को पुरस्कार भी दिए गए हैं। मैं सभी पुरस्कार विजेताओं को भी और उस राज्य के सभी नागरिकों को भी बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। मेरे परिवारजनों, एक तरफ हम आज एक महा उत्सव को समापन कर रहे हैं, तो साथ ही एक नए संकल्प का शुभारंभ भी कर रहे हैं। आज मेरा युवा भारत संगठन यानी माय भारत की नींव रखी गई है। 21वीं सदी में राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए मेरा युवा भारत संगठन बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाने वाला है। इसके लिए मैं देश के युवाओं को विशेष तौर पर बधाई देता हूं। मेरे परिवारजनों, भारत के युवा कैसे संगठित होकर हर लक्ष्य प्राप्त कर सकते हैं, इसका प्रत्यक्ष उदाहरण मेरी माटी मेरा देश अभियान है। मेरी माटी मेरा देश इस अभियान में गांव-गांव, गली-गली से कोटि-कोटि देश के युवा जुड़े हैं। देश भर में लाखों आयोजन हुए। अनगिनत भारतीयों ने अपने हाथों से अपने आंगन, अपने खेत की मिट्टी अमृत कलश में डाली है। देश भर से 8,500 अमृत कलश आज यहां पहुंचे हैं। इस अभियान के तहत करोड़ों भारतीयों ने पंच प्रण की प्रतिज्ञा ली है। पंच प्राण की प्रतिज्ञा ली है। करोड़ों भारतीयों ने अपनी सेल्फीज को कैंपेन वेबसाइट पर अपलोड भी किया है। साथियों, कई लोगों के मन में ये सवाल उठ सकता है कि आखिर मिट्टी ही क्यों, मिट्टी से भरे कलश ही क्यों। एक कवि ने कहा है, यह वह मिट्टी जिसके रस से जीवन पलता आया, जिसके बल पर आदिम युग से मानव चलता आया। यह तेरी सभ्यता संस्कृति इस पर ही अवलंबित युगों युगों के चरण चिन्ह इसकी छाती पर अंकित। बड़ी बड़ी महान सभ्यताएं समाप्त हो गई, लेकिन भारत की मिट्टी वो चेतना है, भारत की मिट्टी में वो प्राण शक्ति है जिसने इस राष्ट्र को अनादिकाल से आज तक बचा कर रखा है। ये वो माटी है जो देश के कोने कोने से आत्मीयता और अध्यात्म हर प्रकार से हमारी आत्मा को जोड़ती है। इस मिट्टी की सौगंध खाकर हमारे वीरों ने आजादी की लड़ाई लड़ी। कितने ही किस्से इस मिट्टी से जुड़े हुए हैं। इसी माटी में 100 साल पहले एक छोटा सा बच्चा लकड़ियां बो रहा था और जब उसके पिता ने पूछा कि क्या बो रहे हो, तो वो बोला कि बंदूकें बो रहा हूं। पिता ने पूछा कि बंदूकों का क्या करोगे, तो उस बालक ने कहा, अपने देश को आजाद कराऊंगा। उसी बालक ने बड़े होकर बलिदान की वो ऊंचाई हासिल की जिसे आज भी छूना मुश्किल है। वो बालक कोई और नहीं, वीर शहीद भगत सिंह थे। इसी माटी के लिए एक सेनानी ने कहा था, दिल से निकलेगी न मरकर कभी वतन की उल्फत, मेरी मिट्टी से भी खुशबुए वफा आएगी। किसान हो, वीर जवान हो, किसका खून पसीना इसमें नहीं मिला है। इसी माटी के लिए कहा गया है, चंदन है इस देश की माटी, तपोभूमि हर ग्राम है। माटी स्वरूपा इस चंदन को अपने सिर माथे पर लगाने के लिए हम सब लालायित रहते हैं। हमारे मन मस्तिष्क में 24 घंटे यही चला करता है, जो माटी का कर्ज चुका दे, जो माटी का कर्ज चुका दे, वही जिंदगानी है। जो माटी का कर्ज चुका दे, वही जिंदगानी है। इसलिए ये जो अमृत कलश यहां आए हैं, इनके भीतर मिट्टी का हर कण अनमोल है। ये हमारे लिए सुदामा की पोटली में रखे चावलों की तरह हैं, जैसे पोटली के चावल की उस मुट्ठी में एक लोक की संपत्ति समाहित थी, वैसे ही इन हजारों अमृत कलशों में देश के हर परिवार के सपने, आकांक्षाएं, अनगिनत संकल्प है। देश के हर घर आंगन से जो मिट्टी यहां पहुंची है, वो हमें कर्तव्य भाव की याद दिलाती रहेगी। ये मिट्टी हमें विकसित भारत के अपने संकल्प की सिद्धि के लिए और अधिक परिश्रम के लिए प्रेरित करती रहेगी।
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp with the #1 election team as we gear up for the upcoming assembly elections. Scan the QR code now.
Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Follow these steps. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Check for a new updates tab. Select Find Channel and type India Today. After finding the channel, tap the Follow button.
It is not just affecting your lungs or causing you breathlessness. There is enough evidence and more to show that air pollution is actually causing a lot more damage to different organs of our body. Much more damage than we can actually imagine. In fact, there is evidence to now show that air pollution is also affecting the unborn child in the mother's womb. It's also leading to dementia. This report gives a sense of the kind of problems that air pollution is causing in the short run and in the long term. It is not just your eyes that are watering or the disgusting stench of smoke in the air. It is not just the breathing difficulties you face at this time of the year. Long-time exposure to air pollution kills you silently, and this has been documented. Delhi NCR's air quality continues to be in the very poor category as the region's average air quality index stayed above 350. And it is not just Delhi. Most Indian cities have air which is not worth breathing. Here is why an air quality index of over 100 should alarm not just you but also wake political decision makers from their slumber. It has gone way beyond worsening asthma and reducing lung capacity. Air pollution has reached the womb. Scientists find pollution is reaching babies in the womb and slashing boys' future sperm counts. You heard that right. We are harming unborn babies. Man-made pollution is making unborn children very ill even before they've taken their first breath. Doctors for the longest time have believed that air pollution has an impact on fetal health, and this research, amongst many more, just validates those fears. have any of it. That is the word from the Government of India on allegations of Meta and Instagram tweaking content to make their platforms addictive. India has said that free pass and immunity to social media platforms are over and strict accountability will be enforced.
Social media app can be used maturely or mindfully only after understanding these consequences. That means that there has to be a capping of age. Young children are more impressionable, and when they are looking at content repeatedly, it forms their opinions, it forms their ideologies, it forms their personality, and they get less and less choice in forming an ideology, because that is the only ideology that they are being exposed to.
This comes in the backdrop of a lawsuit against Meta, which also operates Facebook, by more than 40 US states, saying that Facebook, Instagram features are addictive and target kids. The complaint says Meta has repeatedly misled the public about the substantial dangers of its platforms and knowingly induced young children and teenagers into addictive and compulsive social media use. Research has shown that young people's use of Meta's social media platforms is associated with depression, anxiety, insomnia, interference with education and daily life, and many other negative outcomes. Meta has been accused of intentionally designing its platforms to manipulate dopamine responses in its young users to maximize time spent on its platforms. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today TV.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Battle of Champions with me, Nikhil Naz, your